other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And Automotive Art Cayman. Your car, our passion. And by Dorman Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures. Visit dormanday.ky.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local environment. This is where we address the topics that matter. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman, and welcome to The Buzz. It's a beautiful Thursday, October 9th, and I hope everybody on the way to work or to school is having a good drive in this morning. I am happy to say that on this segment of The Buzz, I am welcoming two members of the Cayman National Robotics team, Desira Tatum and Jamie Johnson, and their coach, Miss Glenda McTaggart, to talk about their upcoming trip, their journey in robotics, and how they're putting the Cayman Islands on the global map. So good morning to my guests and welcome to The Buzz. How are you all doing today?
Good.
Good morning.
Doing
great.
Good. So I'm going to start with a brief introduction from everybody and to also, especially for the students here, to learn how you guys got into robotics. So Miss Glenda, we'll start with you.
Sure, I'll start off. My name is Glenda McTaggart. I'm the Senior Manager of Education Programs with DART. And I've been doing robotics for quite a few years now, and so I'm really excited to be here today to share with your listeners a little bit about what our upcoming trip to Panama means, and have them learn a little bit more about the team, some of the students that are with us on the team, and so that's very exciting to be here. Thank you for having us.
It's great to have you, and you have been so instrumental in leading the robotics, I want to say, whole movement in Cayman. So you're the one of the names that I'm always like, oh, I know Miss Glenda's behind.
Right. So in 2018, when we went to Mexico to the first global challenge, there wasn't really anyone doing in robotics. And so it was a new experience. And I was just, in a word, it was awesome. And I knew that we needed to bring this back and build a program in the Cayman Islands. And so that's the journey that I embarked on. So
okay, wonderful.
Here we are.
Love it. And we're welcoming as well Desira. All right. Tell us a little bit about you.
I'm Desira. I attend Grace Christian Academy. I'm in grade 12. I'm 17. How I joined robotics is kind of a complicated story because I wasn't really interested in it at first. So I only went to the class because I was like, I'm just going to come here. I'm going to watch. I'm not going to join it, though. Mm-hmm. And then I saw how people say it's so complicated, and I just looked at it. It's just like building Legos, just like with a more backstory to it. So that's kind of how I got into it, and I just stayed, and I decided maybe that's something I want to do in the future from now on.
And you loved Legos.
I love Legos.
I completely understand. I loved it too. I was obsessed. So I get it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense. What about you, Jamie?
So I'm Jamie Johnson. I currently attend Cayman Perpin High School, and I recently just left Clifton Hunter High School. To start, this is my third year doing robotics, and I started with, shout out to my two teachers at Clifton Hunter High School, Mr. Harris and Mr. Hemmings. They kind of started me off on robotics at the school. I've always loved Legos as a kid, thanks to my mom. And I guess doing the competition, my first competition back in 2024, it kind of sparked my interest for the competition, which has led me to the third year now. So,
okay, yeah. Nice. I like it. So there's an inter-school robotics program. Can you tell us about that, Glenda, and how it works?
Sure. That's what we call the First Tech Challenge. So it's all part of the First Robotics program. So what we do with the First Tech Challenge inter-school program is each high school gets kits of parts, and they have a program within the school, and they build two robots. Well, they might build more robots, but they bring two robots to the competition, and play against schools, play with schools, because the way the structure is, you actually you have an alliance. So you might partner with a school and then you might be against that school in the next match. So it's really about teamwork, cooperation. Cooperation is one of their kind of buzzwords.
Cooperation?
Cooperation.
That's a new one for me. I love that.
It's one of their kind of branded words, but it really does explain, helping each other. When one team's robot breaks down, everyone pitches in to try to help them and improve what they're doing. So it's really about teamwork, cooperation, and even though it's teams against each other, you're working with other schools. So I love it. It's both the public and private schools. So you have teams in the matches that are public school partnered with a private school. So it really gives kids a great opportunity to interact in a kind of STEM-based environment. So for me, that's just a key factor of the program.
I love that, and I love that it does integrate all the schools together. I think that's such an important thing as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what are some of the things that you're learning as students in robotics? What are you learning? What are some of the key skills and, I guess, knowledge that you're gaining?
I could speak on that. So through robotics, you learn a lot. One main factor is your way of cooperating with people and meeting new people. Your social skills, you gain that. You learn a lot from that through robotics. Another is your problem solving, how you solve different problems for different games. So, for instance, certain games are like more challenging. So, like the global game, you have to climb a rope. Or for a robot to climb a rope, that's very difficult. Or some other games, you have to move pixels on a board and make a artwork. So really and truly, problem solving, and I would say your social skills, you gain a lot from robotics.
Do you feel like you look at other things differently now?
Yeah, ever since I joined robotics, it has changed my perspective.
That's awesome.
Really.
I love that. It's opened your mind in that sense,
Yeah,
which is great. That's learning is supposed to expand your mind, so I love that. What about you, Desira?
For me, it definitely worked on my patience because I'm not gonna lie, I do have a very low patient tolerance. I don't have any patience at all.
I understand.
And robotics has like a lot of trial and error, so for that to happen, you can't just get mad at everything. You have to have a lot of patience. You have to have a lot of teamwork, and like he said, a lot of problem-solving skills. Because when you bump into a problem, how are you gonna solve it? So it's all about that.
Okay, I like that.
I was going to say both of them hit the nail on the head in terms of problem solving. Really big part of it. Also things like teamwork, right? So some of the soft skills like teamwork, collaboration, everybody has a different idea of how our robot should look. How do we decide, right? So those are the kinds of things that, also students bring to the workplace. So learning them at their age is, traditional classroom learning isn't really work anymore. I think it's more, collaboration, hands-on learning, some of those things that are really a key aspect of the program.
All right. There will be group work. Trust me, teamwork for the rest of your lives. I promise you, you think those group projects will be done in high school? They're called, no. This really does translate into your professional lives as well. So yeah, you're completely right with that, Glenda, and how it does help them with those team skills, those team building skills. So what's involved in designing a robot from scratch? I would like somebody to design a specific one for me. So, I might have some ulterior motives in asking this. But, what is involved in designing a robot from scratch?
Designing a robot from scratch definitely takes time and a lot of patience, like I said, because everyone has, like Ms. Gunda said, everyone has different ideas. So it's all about meeting in the middle and figuring out how to incorporate everyone's ideas into one.
Okay.
And honestly, it's a lot of trial and error because you'd be like, oh, this might work, and then it doesn't work. But then that means you just have to keep doing and changing it until it works. And it feels great to know that, hey, I built that, like that's coming to life.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's one motivation that keeps everyone like going, to see their creation at the end.
And it's a bit of that scientific method incorporated. It's always trial and error, right?
Yes.
So that's a great thing. Somebody had said once that if you never fail in something, they're scared of that person because what are you actually really learning when you don't fail at something? So I was like, that's a good perspective. What about you, Jamie? When it comes to designing a robot from scratch, what do you think it takes? Or what have you learned it takes?
Let's see. So when designing a robot from scratch, for me, it's, yeah, what Desire said, meeting in the middle, having constant ideas thrown at you, and then everybody wanting their way to work. It's very difficult to find the like major main point, since others people have their own opinions and they're like, that's gonna work, I know that's my thing.
Yes.
Meeting in the middle and trial and error, as she said. Like, one person might say this will work, and then turns out it failed, and then you gotta maybe like adjust it more. When it comes to robotics specifically, it's not always gonna work the first time. It's gonna work the 17th or 20th time, not even the third time. It's constantly adjusting certain things so it can work more efficiently, effectively, like constantly like working at it to allow it to really come out the way you really want it to work.
I like that. And it just shows it teaches you about perseverance, that kind of resilience right there, and to keep going, to get up and keep going. Key life lesson.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other aspect of that is just, selling your idea. Why your idea is the better idea. And so those communication skills, because you find with, working with younger students, sometimes they believe that it's like the loudest voice and the most forceful idea is going to be the best idea. Most often it's the one that is the quietest person, that has really thought it through and has come up with a great idea. So, getting sort of through all that is a really big part of the program.
Wonderful. There's the robotics program in Cayman, which has really grown throughout the years, right? We've talked about from 2018, it was almost non-existent to now.
Yeah.
It's grown, and it's provided amazing opportunities for students. Amongst those amazing opportunities are the international tournaments, right? So Glenda, if you can share with us the big news, we do know that the team is going to Panama. So tell us about the event that you're going to be competing in, what it means for the team to represent Cayman on a national stage.
Sure. I'd like them to share their ideas as well, but I'll start off by saying, so each year there are approximately between 190 and 200 teams that come together for what they call the first global challenge. So it's at a different country every year, in a different continent. So, since 2018, we've gone to Mexico, Dubai, Singapore. Last year was Greece. So it's really an
first of all,
opportunity. Yeah.
Those are amazing countries that the youth get to experience.
Yeah, they get to experience it, and they also get to experience meeting students from 190 plus countries. And so, later we'll talk a little bit about sort of the pre-meeting and things like that we do. But it's the global experience that's really important. We build a robot, and at the event we compete in alliances of 3 countries, and it's really whether you win or lose is one of those things that doesn't really matter. It's about meeting people, cooperating. We always want to do really well. But it's really a challenge. The countries that come out on top, it's a lot of luck as well in terms of the draws and things like that. But it's for me, it's just amazing to see the students interacting with people from all these different countries. They're speaking many languages, sharing many cultural things, foods. Customs, things like that. It's from that standpoint, it's really amazing. Jamie this year is our student mentor, so he's not actually a competing part of the team. He went with us to Greece last year, so every year we like to bring the experience from the former year into the team.
Okay.
And so, he can tell you a little bit about the experience in Greece and how fun that was. We're excited that Panama is only a 2-hour flight, direct flight, a lot easier to get to than Singapore.
Right, that's true.
So we're excited about that, but I will let Jamie talk about the experience from the student's perspective.
All right, Jamie, right before you do, we got to go to a commercial break. So I'm going to ask you to hold on to those thoughts. When we come back, we're going to hear about your experience in Greece and what your role is right now as a mentor for the Cayman Islands National Robotics team as they head to Panama. Okay, let's go to a commercial break and we'll come back to that after.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Captain Joseph James Anglin, 1899-1982.
Captain Joseph James Anglin was a sea captain who sailed to the Mosquito Keys, Nicaragua, Cuba, and Tampa, Florida. Married to Alvis Christina Chrissy Ebanks and the father of 12 children, he was a God-fearing Christian and a preacher in church. Known as a good neighbor, he helped to build a strong community.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Rotary Central Music Extravaganza tickets, sizzling hot and moving. Get your tickets now. Grand prize $40,000. Second prize $4,000. 6 $1,000 prizes. Sellers prizes up to $5,000. Get your $25 ticket from Rotary Central members. Rotary ticket sellers across Cayman. Eventpro.ky. Funky Tangs, Shudden Road. Rotarian Annie Rose Scott in Cayman Brack. A.L. Thompson's Home Depot, Georgetown. And other locations. Rotary Central Cayman Islands. Supporting more than 70 projects across our community, across the Cayman Islands. The 30th annual Rotary Central Music Extravaganza, Saturday, November 29. Jamming with Sugar Daddy, Los Tropicanos, and musical crew at Salty's Harbor Grill, Red Bay. Your ticket, your chance through Rotary Central.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Cruise into summer with expert service from Automotive Art Cayman. More than a retail store, it's your one-stop auto care shop. We offer paint, detailing, accessories, wheels, Yamaha parts and products, batteries, tire repairs, tire changes, and more. Need top-tier shine and protection? Grab Gliptone detailing gear, Chevron synthetic oil, and Axiom car care kits. Get expert service with premium products all under one roof. Wherever you cruise, make your pit stop at Automotive Art first. Find us on Shedden Road and follow us at Auto Art KY on Instagram and Automotive Art Cayman on Facebook.
Parents, if you're navigating the world of boarding schools, it can feel overwhelming. Dorm and Day are here to help. You don't have to do it alone. Whether your child is reaching for new academic challenges, looking to shine as a competitive athlete, or simply searching for the school that brings out their best, Dorm and Day are your trusted educational experts located right here in Georgetown. For 10 years, Dorm and Day have helped families just like yours to find the best fit schools with one-on-one support every step of the way. So why stress when you can have an experienced partner by your side? Visit dormandday.ky or call 936-3676 today. Dorm and Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning and welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are talking with Cayman's Future Innovators, which is the National Robotics Team. And we have at least one member of the team and a mentor for the team that's in studio with me. So I have Miss Desira Tatum. She's from Grace Christian Academy and a member of the Cayman National Robotics Team, and Jamie Johnson from Cayman Prep, and also he's a mentor for the team this year. And then Glenda McTaggart, who is the National Robotics Team Manager and Senior Manager of Education Programs at DART. So Jamie, you were going to tell me about your experience in Greece when you went last year for the robotics, the Global Challenge, and now you're a mentor for the team this year that's going to Panama. So tell me about Greece.
So for Greece, it was extremely eye-opening, really and truly. You get off the plane and you just see countries with their flags running around the airport, shouting FGC, which is First Global. And then you get to the actual competition. It's just big stadium. It's like a basketball stadium in Greece, and it's just a pit, like with the booth of every single country, over 192 countries, and it's just really eye-opening to see all the different cultures, all the different countries, everybody representing their countries. It's an amazing experience. I've met so many friends last year, and it's really eye-opening, especially coming from a small island like the Cayman Islands. Like, you'd walk around and people were wondering, where are you from? And we're like, the Cayman Islands, and they're like, huh? Where is that? Is that Jamaica? And
so what would you share about Cayman?
I had, to be honest, the group that went last year, we had the map on our phone. So everybody that asked, we just showed them on the map a star of the Cayman Islands, and we showed, that's Jamaica, that's the Cayman Islands. Right. And we just shared, like, because we had, at the booth, you can share your culture. So we last year shared our turtles, because we're known for our turtles here in the Cayman Islands. And we shared our turtles, and everybody swarmed in. Like, every 2 seconds, you'd have 0 pins on the table, 0 plushies on the table for our turtles. And to be honest, when sharing about the Cayman Islands, I've had like 5 people message me, Jamie, let's go to the Cayman Islands. Can you, if my family comes to the Cayman Islands, can you give me a tour? Jamie, let's go to the Cayman Islands. And it really draws a lot of people into the Cayman Islands, because when we show them pictures, they're like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I've never seen that before. Because some of them are from like in the middle of Europe, like they don't really have crystal clear beaches, or they're just in snow.
They're landlocked.
Yeah, literally landlocked. They just have a lake. To talk about mentoring the new team this year, I'm glad I can share my experiences to theirs, and it really helps them to understand a little bit more about what they're gonna experience over there in Panama this year. I share the ups, the downs, and I can, that's the word I'm looking for, like add on to it, help them. If I've experienced that problem, I know the answer to it, so I can help them. Really, this student mentor, it really helps them, the team this year, a lot.
And it developed some leadership skills with you as well. Did you find that you leaned on your mentor when you were in Greece?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, awesome. So now you get to be in that role this time.
Yes, I did.
Now, Desira, you're going to Panama. And when is the Panama trip? It's soon. I mean, you guys are all going to Panama, right?
End of October.
End of October. Oh, that's very soon. Okay. So what are you most looking forward to?
I'm definitely most forward looking to meeting the people. I love communicating. I'm a very bubbly person. So meeting new people is definitely going to be one of my favorite things. Different cultures, making new friends, and also seeing how everyone's robot looks different, because we all receive the same kit. So seeing how many different ideas, it's really amazing.
Yeah. It has to be, because if you all receive the same kit and it's going to be like over 190 different ideas coming from this one thing, it's just, it's so incredibly mind-opening to me.
And you can only use what's in the kit. So there's, it's a level playing field between all the countries. So whether you are the United States or you are the Cayman Islands, you have exactly the same parts to work with.
Oh, so you can't do add-ons and embellishment. Okay.
So I was going to say, you want to talk about the teams we've met, right?
Okay, yeah. So part of First Global is social media. So every team has a social media platform, and they usually post like challenges that you can complete. And one of our challenges this year was to meet with other teams, and some of those teams were like Nebraska. So every year for the United States, they pick a different place because it can't be the same place. So this year it was Nebraska that they picked, and we also met with. Who else did we meet with?
We met with Barbados. We met with Dominican Republic. We've met with Honduras. We've met with Jamaica. Who else? We've met with so many.
Yeah. Mostly ones on our time zone.
Yeah, I feel you. All right. A little bit more exciting than Nebraska to me right now. And I just think cold, and I'm like, I really don't know what to think about Nebraska. But I guess that's how you learn.
Yeah.
That's how you learn more. There you go.
One of the things is they become ambassadors for their country. Yes. And so they show up with pride. They show up with knowledge about the Cayman Islands that they share with others. So that's really a cool part of the program.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Just the connectivity that you guys get and the opportunity it's mind-blowing to me. How are the team members selected?
So the selection process comes from our First Tech Challenge, so our inter-school program. So each of the schools put forward 2 nominees. And so we then have an interview panel made up of some of our sponsors, myself, the coach, and we interview students and select them through that process. So one of the key things is they need to be here all summer because the students work all summer. It's like a job. So that's how we put the team together, and it's different students from each of the schools. So a lot of times they don't know each other, so they're just, coming together. Jamie's laughing. They're coming together and getting to know each other at the beginning, and then they have a very, very tight bond by the end of it. What I love to see is last year's team, a lot of them are going off to university this year, so they got together and they had, beach day, so they're still very, very close. And they have a chat. They actually communicate with each other, even at universities. They're all over the place, Canada, the U.S., the U.K., but they still have that tight bond because they spent so much time together, and they had that, awesome experience in Greece together. Staying together, playing together, all of it. So
I love
it's
it because it again integrates the youth from the different schools in Cayman together into this one team now.
Absolutely.
There's that. And oh man, there was another point that I was going to make there. It completely left my mind. That's okay. It happens. But out of what you said, if 2 students are nominated from each school, Desire, I'm going to go to you now because you were one of those 2 students that had to have been nominated from your school. And what did you just tell me at the beginning of the show, that you just went to a class one day just to kind of see what it's about, not really interested, and boom, here you are. I don't know how much after that you got nominated to be part of this national robotics team. What a curve. That's amazing.
So when I walked in there, first off, I was just sitting there, and then I started getting really into it. Then it's when I think what really got to me was some people were doing it wrong. So like something in me was like, that's not right.
The patience.
Right. Yeah, the patience was really, really thin. And I was like, you guys are doing it wrong. And I would just like help out. So I feel like that really grew my knowledge because then I was able to learn it and then teach it to other people. So from there, and when we went to the in-school competition, nobody really knew who was our team captain. And when 2 of my drivers, they were like, we don't know where the numbers for the robot is. We don't know. And so I was one that was running around making sure I was basically running behind everyone, making sure everything was cleaned up and everything. So when which was Miss Nami, when she came out and she's like, okay, well, I need a team captain. And they all looked at me and I was like, okay, we're nominating me now. So from there, I feel like I really did show to Miss Glenda and all of them that I was actually ready to go into the national team. And
you showed that to yourself, most importantly.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I did.
That's awesome.
And they actually really loved my personality a lot.
I can see it. Everybody has a great personality in here.
She shone in the interview because she really had an outgoing personality, and we know how important that is at the competition. So so that was one of the things that we recognized right away. The other part was the fact that, we are trying really hard to get girls engaged.
Mm-hmm.
So, with our national team, we've had, the most we've had was 2 girls. I'm pleased to say this year we have 3
awesome
females on the team, so that's amazing. So we have myself and another female mentor. We're always working hard to try to, to draw more girls into the program.
I hate to end it, but I have to end it. We're at the 8 a.m. news. I know we have to thank some of the sponsors out there.
Right.
Yes.
So really important. So this program would not be possible without the generosity of our sponsors. And we've had pretty much the same group of sponsors from the very beginning, from 2018. So, they're all STEM-based companies. So REMRE, Logic, their Brava program, Caribbean Utilities Company, CUC, Health City, who have robotic surgeons, KPMG, and of course DART, who is the major sponsor. So, and they allow me to do this as a job. So, a big shout out and thank you so much to the sponsors. And again, we'll be having a send-off event on the 25th, which is a Saturday, 25th of October. So stop by DART around lunchtime, and you can see the team, talk to the team, and wish us well.
And check out the robots, right?
Check out the robots.
Yes, all right. I'll be there at the 25th. Thank you so much. And I'm so sorry our conversation just had to end like that. It was a pleasure speaking with the students especially, and to have you as well, Glenda, in studio with me this morning. We're going to go to the 8 a.m. news, and then right after that, I will have the RCIPS in studio with me.
Thank you, Kathy. And studio time now is 8:01, brought to you with the kind compliments of Foster's.
When you're on the go, the experienced team at Foster's Pharmacy are here to help. Drop off your prescription while you shop or WhatsApp us and we'll prepare it, ready for your arrival.
Whether you need prescription or over-the-counter medications, blood glucose testing, or advice on vitamins and supplements, we're here early in the morning to late at night. Both of our locations at our Camana Bay and airport stores are open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday to Saturday.
For more info, visit fosters.ky/pharmacy. Foster's Pharmacy. Better health because we care.
Information, entertainment, inspiration.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Brac.
Since 1976 till now.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Karsley Fuller. It's seen strong growth since the pandemic, but the latest figures from the Economics and Statistics Office show the construction sector may have taken a hit in 2024. According to the annual economic report, indicators suggest a, quote, possible slowdown in the sector. The Economics and Statistics Office report says that while the number of construction projects on the horizon increased, the value of both building permits and project approvals fell. So the total value of building permits dropped by 39%. That's about $514 million in 2024. The ESO blamed this on contractions in most categories, like permits for non-residential categories slipping some 72%. In real numbers, that's like $309 million. Permits in the other category fell by 92%. That's $171 million, while commercial and hotel permits contracted by 31% and 93% respectively. The report says this can largely be blamed on the absence of several large-scale developments that were seen in 2023. Additionally, there were reductions in industrial and government permits, which fell by 33% and 91%. Building permits in the residential category fell by 10%, primarily driven by a 15% contraction in the apartment segment. The ESO says despite the overall decline in residential permit values, there was a notable nearly 42% increase, that's $31 million, in the value of permits issued for houses. The full report can be found online at eso.ky.
Arthur Pizarro, please put your hands together for me.
On Saturday, the halls of the Georgetown Historic Public Library were filled with Chopin and Debussy as K-Musica presented its second concert of Piano Fest 2025 featuring Artur Pizarro. And the festival continues tonight. K-Musica's Marius Gaina.
On Thursday, 6 o'clock, Konstantin Lifshitz is coming from Switzerland, and he will perform for that night.
That night being tonight, with more than 30 acclaimed recordings, including the complete Beethoven sonatas for Alpha Classics. Constantine's discography has cemented his reputation as one of today's leading interpreters. This evening's performance will feature pieces by Bach and Schumann. For tickets, head to eventbrite.com. As a reminder, money raised supports free instruments and music education for local students. Speaking of students, nearly 90 of them got hands-on training during the Health Services Authority's summer internship program.
This year's summer student internship program was one of the most competitive yet. With over 250 applications, we were able to place 89 students successfully in placements over a 3-month period.
And Chief Human Resources Officer Samantha Bennett says it wasn't the first rodeo for several of them, with 25 kids coming back for a second, third, or even fourth go-around.
Programs like this are essential to our succession planning, which help us identify and nurture future Caymanian healthcare professionals across clinical, allied health, and administrative roles.
The internship placed students in 4 to 6 week rotations across the authority's departments, ranging from things like clinical care and allied health to administrative and technical support. Ms. Bennett says by focusing on 3rd and 4th year students preparing to enter the workforce, the program emphasizes the HSA's commitment to, quote, building a robust pipeline of Caymanian healthcare talents. Students interested in applying for next year's program can head to hsa.ky. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Govinda Gill. Israel's cabinet is due to meet to decide whether to approve a landmark agreement involving a ceasefire in Gaza. The deal, which was first announced by Donald Trump, includes the release of the remaining Israeli hostages in exchange for the freeing of around 2,000 so far unnamed Palestinian prisoners. It's the first phase of a US-led initiative for peace, which was signed after intense negotiations between Hamas and Israeli officials in Egypt. It will see the withdrawal of Israeli troops from parts of the territory. In Gaza, which lies in ruins after 2 years of Israeli devastation, there was celebration as the news of the agreement spread. There was also an enthusiastic response on Hostages Square in Tel Aviv, where relatives and supporters of those taken by Hamas have long waited for this moment. Many details of the wider peace plan remained unresolved, including a demand for Hamas to give up its weapons. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
For the past 10 years, Health City Cayman Islands has been providing a comprehensive range of in-house medical services, from routine care to highly complex surgeries. We've transformed healthcare in the region, saving thousands of lives in the process. Recognized for quality and excellence, Health City brings together expert doctors, the best technology, and the latest techniques to provide world-class healthcare to those who need it. Health City Cayman Islands, a decade of healing.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcade, where people come first.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 85 degrees. Relative humidity is 81%. The barometric pressure is 29.88 inches and rising. The wind is out of the south-southeast at 5 knots. Overnight low temperature was 80 degrees. Synopses indicate isolated showers will continue to linger across the Cayman area through tomorrow as a trough south of Cuba lingers and a tropical wave drifts across the area this evening. Radar imagery show numerous showers northwest of the Cayman area with isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving towards the north-northwest. The National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida continues to issue advisories on Tropical Storm Jerry. At last check, Jerry was located 355 miles east-southeast of the northern Leeward Islands. The Cayman Islands National Weather Service will continue to monitor the progression of this system, which poses no threat at this time. For more information, visit www.nhc.noaa.gov. The forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures will be in the low 90s with a heat index near 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Your winds will be south to southeast 5 knots or less, becoming light and variable at times, and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures falling near the upper 70s tonight. Winds will be southerly at 5 knots or less, switching southwesterly later. High tide, of course, will be 9 minutes after 11. Low tide this evening at 2 minutes past 5, and a high tide again tonight at 10:31. The sun will set this evening at 5 minutes after 6 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:19. And the outlook is calling for light to moderate southwesterly winds from Saturday as an area of low pressure develops across southern Florida. A shear line associated with this feature would linger northwest of the Cayman area, maintaining the chance for some isolated showers at times. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
Wait, why is she going into that spooky house? Who's that creepy old guy? And where are her friends? Why is she going in the basement? Nothing good is down there, sis. I bet you the creepy caretaker did it. Did you see his fake eye? Okay, maybe not the caretaker.
Hush.
You hush. I'm solving a mystery.
We're like the person who doesn't ruin the movie. CG Britke. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britke, where people come first.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman is proud to continue to serve our island community. The club continues to host successful community projects like the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Campaign, free site screening in schools, spelling bee, swim meets, and their community pantry. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman looks forward to continuing their service for many years to come. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, where there's a need, there's a lion, serving the community for over 50 years.
Radio Cayman News.
Public Health has reported, quote, several cases of gastroenteritis.
Local prices surged in the second quarter of this year.
Investigation continues into a report that a student brought a gun to Clifton Hunter High School last week.
Want to assure parents that DES is committed to keeping our schools safe.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning. This time we take a look at what's happening on our roads. Looking to the east and Shamrock Road and Rex Crichton Boulevard flowing at a moderate pace. Further down, a little different story as traffic a little steadier as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway. It's a crawlathon on Crew Road heading to Georgetown. Expect delays and steady traffic coming off of Bobby Thompson Way as well as Agnes Way. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue flowing at a moderate pace in both directions. Edward Street, light to moderate traffic flow, and traffic flowing pretty good coming from the West Bay 4-way stop. Coming off of the Astley Tibbetts Highway, traffic is moving along at a moderate pace. Industrial Park area, North Sound Road, flowing moderately in both directions. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is steady heading towards the Georgetown area and heading towards the West Bay area, traffic moving at a moderate pace. Owen Roberts Drive, light to moderate traffic flow, and that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Remember, click it or ticket.
Get ready for something sweet, spicy, and totally crave-worthy. The hot honey chicken sandwich is here, and it's bringing the heat. We've taken our tender, juicy chicken and drenched it in bold hot honey sauce for the perfect balance of sweetness and spice. But hurry, this one's only here for a limited time. Hot honey chicken. Try it today before it's gone. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Did you know that HPV, or human papillomavirus, is known to cause certain types of cancer? HPV is spread through skin-to-skin contact and easy to contract. The HPV vaccine is our best protection against HPV-related cancers. It is safe for children and youth ages 9 and up, and for those under the age of 25, all it takes is a single dose. It's time to arm against cancer, Cayman. Get the HPV vaccine today. For more information on where to get vaccinated, contact the Public Health Department on 244-2648 or 244-2889.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecast, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning and welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and in this segment, we're welcoming the Royal Cayman Islands Police. So, welcome. How are you doing today?
Morning, doing well.
We do have Inspector Kevin Ricketts, Head of Process Unit, and Mikhail Campbell, Media and Communications Officer. Now, Mikhail, I'd never get to have you on the show, so I'm happy to have you. I've known you for so long.
Happy to be here.
Good to have you here. And Inspector Ricketts, I know it's your first time with us on Radio Cayman.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
No problem. Thanks for being here. Now, you know what I got to do at the beginning of the show whenever I have the police on. And I know we're here to talk about a specific topic, right? And it's going to be about the investigation process and how you help manage the public expectations. But we do know that in the past week, there's been a lot going on. There's been a really crazy crime incident that had happened. There's been some thefts with the e-bikes, the school bus collision that happened, a whole bunch of other just traffic collisions, right? So I want to hear from at least you guys right now on updates on some of these incidents and then talk about the investigation process. So to begin with the most recent news as it relates to crimes, collisions, and more, just 2 days ago on October 7th, there was a school bus crash, and I kind of want to lay it down because there's been so many different rhetorics online. People saying this happened, that happened. There's been so many stories about this school bus crash. So if you can confirm anything, let the public know if it was speed involved, driver error, road design, visibility, anything like that.
Okay, so it's going to be probably a disappointing update, but I can just say that the matter is under full investigation right now by our traffic and roads policing unit. Mm-hmm. And so generally we're not going to give out, say definitively causes exactly how the collision occurred. But just to say that I think it is something that will be investigated. Any offenses that are determined, those will be prosecuted, definitely. So if there was any careless driving by either of the drivers or any breaches of the road code, those will be prosecuted. And we take it seriously, of course, because this is something involving our students and our children. I think the collision occurred when both vehicles were making a maneuver on the road. So, like I said, I don't want to get too much further into details of that because that's our standard practice, not to... You're
trying to figure out what that maneuver was.
Yeah.
So you can't confirm whether it was overtaking. You can't confirm that.
I'm not going to know. Okay. I'm going to explicitly confirm exactly what it was.
Gotcha, no problem.
But just to remind people as well, there are rules when it comes to driving behind, alongside, or even in the opposite direction of school buses. Once they're stopped to let out or take up passengers, you don't overtake, you don't pass them. Doesn't matter which side of the road you're traveling on. And also generally when you're driving, there's a responsibility to have due care with school buses or with any other vehicle, whatever kind of maneuvers you're doing. So just people should be careful, be cautious, and pay attention. Don't try to risk, you're driving in something and you want to get past someone that you think is a little bit slow, or there's something coming up and you're like, I can beat this before this other car comes. It's like, it's not usually worth the risk, just wait a few extra seconds. It's not going to make a huge difference.
Yes. I would say I'm definitely somebody who does that, but not when it comes to school buses.
Right.
Like,
I think we all do, we can be honest, right? But it's just to remind yourself sometimes that, like, no, let me just...
The whole school bus thing was crazy to me. So has any arrests been made?
No, not at this time.
Okay. All right. So that was the most recent incident. Then also on October 7th, there was a van that caught fire on Shamrock Road. Can you update us with that regarding that fire? Have you determined if it was arson or accidental?
Sure. So the fire investigations, as you would guess, would be either between the police service or the fire service. So in this incident, the vehicle was on the roadway, caught fire. The persons that were inside were able to get out before anything happened to them, so they were safe and uninjured. And fire service came and investigated. So there's no indication that it was any kind of arson or foul play. So they've taken the investigation from there. So if it's nothing suspicious, or if it's not thought to be deliberately set, then the fire service is the one that handles that investigation. So they're looking at the exact cause and everything. They would be the ones to determine that. We've kind of done our part, responded to the incident, assisted on the scene, helped with traffic while the vehicle was still there.
Gotcha. Yeah. I didn't realize that there was people in the vehicle when it caught fire. So that can't be arson for sure. I mean, that would be really weird. So probably the craziest thing I would say in crime that might have happened for us this year, which really reminds me of something that happened at a Butterfield Bank location, I don't know how many years ago in Cayman, but there was, on October 5th, thieves used a backhoe in an attempt to steal the ATM at the credit union location in Savannah. What information can you share about that ATM attempted heist?
Yeah, that was also under investigation. So that one is being looked into by our criminal investigations department. So they're going to conduct a thorough investigation, or they are in the process of conducting a thorough investigation, and we use all the tools available to us. CCTV is always a big one. The vehicle, so the heavy equipment that was used in the attempt to take the ATM, has been seized by the police, and that is being processed forensically by our detectives and our crime scene investigation unit. So all that information is going to form part of the investigation. The evidence will be collected, and with the view to bring whoever is responsible to justice. So again, not a super exciting update, but these things, they do take time. There was also a vehicle that was used by the persons after the fact to leave the location. So that is also being looked into as well. So I think,
Are either of those vehicles, were they reported as stolen?
Yeah. So thank you for that. The heavy equipment was was taken without the consent of the owner. So that's a stolen vehicle, and the other vehicle that's being investigated. So we expect it may have been as well.
Okay. Now I understand the backhoe was left in an area where they just the key was in it. I guess this is like a regular thing. I've seen a little, what looks like a key in heavy equipment, especially around where I live. And I'm like, why are people just leaving this in here? Because I've had that same thought, right?
Yeah. Wait, you had the thought that you should take it and use it to get an ATM?
No, because that seems like a very slow process, number one. Okay.
Like, if I would do it, I would do something totally different.
I absolutely would not do it that way. No, but, there's a really big empty lot by where I live. And I was like, I could just run around, as an adult in my 40s saying that. Right. So I can imagine youth when they want to play around, right? So is that something that you confirm at all, that the key or whatever that they use to turn the backhoe on?
I wouldn't get into that much detail, but again,
that seems really irresponsible to me if that was a thing.
Right, I would say
if
people are doing that, I would we would advise, of course, with our crime prevention advice, with any vehicle, try not to make it too accessible. Do not leave your keys in the vehicle, especially with we always talk about this with passenger vehicles. But with heavy equipment as well, and I think it comes right from a place of trust. Like, over the years, people are used to being able to do that. But I think, with some of these incidents recently, because we've also had other incidents where younger people have taken heavy equipment and maneuvered it out of from where it was. So it probably becomes a point where you just have to start thinking about, taking these the key out of the vehicle, thinking about where you're leaving it, monitoring it a little more closely.
Yeah, I agree with that. Is there any suspects that you can confirm that the police may have? Not their names, clearly. But
No, yeah, I understand. Can't confirm that at the moment, but as soon as we have further updates, we will share that with the public. It still is fairly recent in the process, and as we'll speak about in terms of investigations, there is a lot of factors to consider. So
okay, the increase in the theft of e-bikes, a little part of me is kind of like, oh, now I don't have to hit as many on the road, or avoid hitting as many. I haven't hit any yet. I'm a mostly responsible driver, but they really freak me out because they don't really obey the rules of the road per se, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, why do you think there's so many e-bike thefts rising right now? Is there any kind of reasoning or logic that you guys might,
I think
insight you might share with us on that?
I think it's opportunistic. I mean, they are relatively small, light, easy to take away. Even if you're not on them, riding them, you can still move them.
Yeah.
Without too much hassle compared to a larger vehicle, such as a car or even a motorbike or something like that. So for the public, I would say it again, and they're growing in popularity, right? So they're ubiquitous. So the same reason we tend to see a lot of, when it comes to car thefts, a lot of them tend to be Hondas. People wonder if there's something specific with Hondas that makes them more susceptible, but part of it is just the numbers, right? They are the most common vehicle, I think, or one of the most common. So you're going to see them coming up in those kind of incidents. So e-bikes are growing in popularity. A lot of people use them as an alternative means of transportation, and they're essential for some people to get to and from their employment. So we would just advise people to, again, just try and take a bit more care in terms of how they're stored. There are a lot of safety tools that you can use to try and help prevent anyone from taking them. The first thing I would say is, the general crime prevention advice for any type of item that you have or any property is keeping it somewhere, trying to secure it and keeping it in a location that you can easily access and that is visible, that potentially, if possible, has high foot traffic. It may seem counterintuitive because you don't want a lot of people around your stuff, but if people are around, if it's brightly lit, it's difficult for people to feel comfortable to take something because there'll be witnesses, they'll feel more vulnerable in a sense. And then also, again, you have your locks, your U-locks, your chain locks. There are battery locks that can prevent the battery from being used if it's taken. Tracking devices. We would also say, make sure that you note down the identifying features and serial numbers. So all the usual crime prevention advice would apply to that. And I guess we just want to emphasize that to the public because we have seen a rise. And so that makes it more difficult for any thieves. Again, since it's opportunistic, it's if you take away the opportunity, then the crime will diminish. So
right. I understand that. You should see me in my complex has been hit all the time. So I'm about to ask you now a question that's coming about if there's any kind of specific crime trends that you're seeing right now in Cayman, any kind of specific rise in crime. Some stuff is seasonal, right? So hence right now, if there's anything that you are seeing that the public should be more aware of as well, like the e-bike thing, theft is one of those, right?
Yeah, so that would be one, I think. And we've also, before that, we talked about, and we just mentioned it as well, vehicle thefts. Yes. So of motor vehicles, cars in particular. That I think we're still seeing that, and it's a priority focus for the service at the moment. So yeah, we may be putting another reminder out on that soon. So those same crime prevention advice tips apply, and also, keeping your cars locked, not leaving the keys in the vehicle, not leaving valuables visible in the vehicle, because again, it's about that opportunity and that, I guess, temptation in a sense.
Even just a little bit of change, you can't make that visible.
It can be, it can be,
Yeah.
And if you want to get into all the socioeconomic issues and social issues, that can fuel this kind of thing. But if it's just a bit of change, you can see how, if that's enough of an incentive, then it speaks to wider issues, I would say. And these are all things that we try to work with our partners to address and to raise as well. And then the online stuff, so online scams, text scams, email scams, every kind of scam that tries to entice people to click on a link or give money to who they think is a friend, to contact them via WhatsApp. So as our head of our cybercrime unit always likes to say, trust nothing, verify everything. So if anything seemed a little suspicious, a friend asking for money and you know they don't normally do that, go another route and check with them and see, like, you know, give them a call if it's a text. Maybe go see them if next time you see them and say, hey, I got this message from you, you know, what's going on, everything okay? And then they might be like, oh yeah, no, I lost my phone number, you know, a week ago or something.
Right.
So just to be very vigilant, because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of technology. We are very technologically dependent, and people will take advantage of that. People, you know, certain people try to find ways to take advantage of whatever is happening. So
the really sophisticated scammers know how to manipulate that deep fake technology there, and that could be detrimental if that takes off here. Yeah. That could really ruin people's lives. So I really hope when it comes to cybersecurity and that cyber awareness that people are more alert. And I know there's so much going on right now. We're pushing a campaign on it.
I was going to say CIG has campaign.
Yeah, we've had talks about it. CIG has their campaign on it. There's been so many kind of workshops and seminars going on when it comes to cybersecurity. So it is something that we need to take a lot more seriously because we're seeing an influx of that. So thank you for the update. I'm going to get you out of that hot seat a little bit right there.
It's just warm. It's not even.
I know Inspector Ricketts like, whoa, it wasn't me. It's just warm. All right. You say, so it wasn't hot enough. I'm gonna get you next time. We're gonna take our first commercial break.
You're going to be Jody next time, so don't take it out on her.
I don't know, man. Jody's used to me now. Jody handles it well. So we're going to take a first commercial break, and when we come back, we are going to go into understanding the investigation process with the RCIPS.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Tune in to Radio Cayman's sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, keeping the island connected with the music you love and the vibes you grew up with. Switch over and stay with us. Breeze 105.3 FM, always here for you.
Rotary Central Music Extravaganza tickets, sizzling hot and moving. Get your tickets now. Grand prize $40,000. Second prize $4,000. 6 $1,000 prizes. Sellers prizes up to $5,000. Get your $25 ticket from Rotary Central members. Rotary ticket sellers across Cayman. Eventpro.ky. Funky Tangs, Shudden Road. Rotarian Annie Rose Scott in Cayman Brack. A.L. Thompson's Home Depot, Georgetown. And other locations. Rotary Central Cayman Islands. Supporting more than 70 projects across our community, across the Cayman Islands. The 30th annual Rotary Central Music Extravaganza, Saturday, November 29. Jamming with Sugar Daddy, Los Tropicanos, and musical crew at Salty's Harbor Grill, Red Bay. Your ticket, your chance through Rotary Central.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. And in studio, we are talking with the RCIPS about right now, it's going to be about their investigation process. And I have in studio with me Inspector Kevin Ricketts, head of the process unit, and Mikhail Campbell, media and communications officer with the RCIPS. So welcome back to the show, guys. I know we just finished getting the updates on the most recent crime and incidents that have happened in Cayman. So thank you, Mikhail, for sharing that information with us as limited as you could right there. I get it. We get it. But, I have to ask the questions. So we're going to turn to our topic, which is the investigation process. And Inspector Ricketts, I'm going to ask you just to give a brief introduction about yourself and your role within the RCIPS.
Thank you again, Kathy, for having me, and thank you, listeners. So I'm Kevin Ricketts, as you indicated, police inspector with the RCIPS for over 13 years. I have worked in other jurisdictions, so in total my policing experience is 24 years. I've worked in different areas. Majority of my service, however, is as a detective. I'm presently in a new role over a year, and I'm liking it, I must say. It poses challenges, but I'm assuming every new job and every new opportunity presents its own challenges. Presently, I'm the case file manager for the process unit. Process unit is used interchangeably as a case file management unit. So that unit is comprised of both civilian and police staff, very hardworking, as many of our civil servants are. That unit is in charge or accountable for all files that are generated, created for full investigation into criminal and traffic cases. That is basically my role as the manager, to oversee that department that has accountability for all the files. The process department is a hub for all the case file, and it serves as a quality control hub. And if I may expound, after the files are prepared by the respective units, it's subject to review by their supervisors, but before it goes on to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions for the matter to be ruled on, then the process department is where it has to be go through a final review process so that we can ensure that all the file contains all the relevant documents and so on before it goes on. I must also say that we do mostly for uniform officers, and as you can understand, there are specialist sections within the RCIPS, for example, financial crime and so on, and so their supervisors will do most of their review considering the expertise that they have. But the majority of cases, criminal and traffic, comes through our process department.
What does a typical day for you in this role look like?
Okay, so policing generally is dynamic, so a typical day is
not always the same.
Yes. Not always. But what I can say, though, generally speaking, is overseeing the quality control of the files, because that is a priority a priority for us. It's professionally tracking documents to ensure that documents from the officers get to us and we distribute to it respectively. And as we distribute it to the officers, we ensure that we track wherever it goes. If it goes back to the officers for further actions, if it goes to the office of the DPP, we check to see how quickly it is being ruled on. And then even from then, it goes back to the court, where it's a different jurisdiction, and now the court has control over what happens. So generally, I also attend several meetings with our internal and external partners, and I mean internal or units. So, for example, Mikhail and I, units such as CID and different units within the RCIPS, and we also meet with the courts and the office of the DPP so that we can bridge those gaps that we identify to ensure that we deliver the best service possible to the people of the Cayman Islands.
Okay, now, I think when you began, you mentioned that you're a detective, or this is your first year being in detective work?
So I spent most of my service as a detective.
As a detective, okay.
Yeah, so I got transferred as a detective in different roles, CID, Crime Task Force, and all.
So now this role seems like I hate to say it, but like a lot more kind of paper pushing admin work in that sense for you.
It is, but
very different from detective work.
Yeah, but as you know, many people consider, well, they do not see the importance of administration, but it is it's the behind the scene work that you do. It's more cumbersome than people would think. People think they see officers on the road, not that their job is not important, but if they were to see the administrative work that they do behind the scene, then some people may be cringing.
Well, it's so important because it really brings all the details together.
Exactly.
And if there's holes missing, that quality control that you had mentioned, then that can blow a case completely apart. So it really is important to stay on top of it. And it's not admin work that I would say, you would consider in a regular kind of a corporate environment. Nothing like that at all. But it changes really, you being out in the field a lot more compared to what your role demands now.
It definitely does. And it exposes me to other sides of policing that being in other units would not have exposed me to. Now I'm able to see the system as it works.
Yes.
and then I can at points influence it based on my experience as a detective.
Does that give you a better appreciation then in that sense? If you were to go back to do detective work, would you be like, okay, now I understand the information a little bit more that I need to maybe gather or present?
It
perhaps?
Definitely does. And what there is sometimes somehow perceived distinction between a detective and a uniform officer. And the lines are blurred a number of times, but when you get into this seat that I'm in now, then you can see more what the uniform officers have to, encounter as they go about their businesses. Mind you, detectives do jobs, but they do some jobs that take much longer time, as opposed to our first responders who are constantly on the move, and the volume of work that they get, you tend to see it more and appreciate and support. That now will allow me, if I were to be put back in a detective role, to provide more of a support to them.
Yes.
Because of the volume that they have.
Yeah, I get that. Okay. Now, Friday, October 3rd, George Orlando Sr. was sentenced to life in prison for the September 29th, 2023 fatal shooting of Devontae Hernandez. That sentence was handed down almost exactly 2 years after the murder occurred. And this case was before the court for 2 years. Justice has prevailed, thankfully. How long do investigations typically take, and what factors influence that timeline? And the reason I mentioned this case, last Friday, it was just said, right? He was sentenced to life. So this is very, very new. It was a really, very heartbreaking incident, something that really shook the Cayman community. And yeah, we have to wait, but we have a successful outcome with this conviction right here. So again, let's go back to how long do investigations typically take and the factors that influence that. And congratulations to everybody in the RCIPS for the work that they did to make that conviction happen too.
Thank you, Kathy, because before I answered your question, I wanted to really extend another thank you to the team. Not only police officers, but in particular the detectives' uniform. We had a collaborative effort, and sometimes some of these investigations, as I will get in, does not only include the officers that the victim or their families see, but it takes regional, international sometimes effort from people to put into one case. And I just like to thank the detectives, thank the uniform officers, and all that contributed to helping us achieving this result. We'd like to thank the families too of the victim for the confidence that they have in the RCIPS in carrying out their duty, even though it has taken 2 years. But clearly it takes support for the victims and their family and constant update to remind them of what it takes to get to that stage of the person being sentenced.
Yeah, and that's the important thing, that even though it was 2 years, if there was a rush in this process, mistakes made.
Precisely.
We may not have seen a conviction at all.
Definitely. So it varies, as you indicated, insofar as why investigations and how long it takes. So, for example, a murder would take usually a longer time than, say, a traffic accident. For obvious reasons, more things go into witnesses, forensic. Sometimes you have to wait for the results for forensic, both biologically and for digital forensic statements, the availability of witnesses sometimes, because as you know, people have to work, and sometimes you do want to get a statement from a witness, and he or she may not be the most convenient time because of work, etc., and so on.
Or they don't want to comply.
Or they don't want, and it takes some amount of collaboration, reaching out to our colleagues in other areas just to see how best we can get those statements in. It takes, as I said, a lot of time in getting investigation, especially the more serious ones, because we have to cross all the T's, dot all the I's. It is subject to several stages of review. Yeah. So before it gets even to the office of the DPP, and even during the review stages, we We interact with the office of the DPP just so we understand what it is that we're trying to achieve in bringing and gathering the evidence so that the matter can be taken before the court. And I must add that even after it has left the possession of the RCIPS, you find that there are other delays that occur within the court's realm, and it also has to do with witness availability and whether the witness still lives in the Cayman Islands or they live overseas. Several things are put in it.
A lot of factors.
A lot of factors.
When it comes to managing the public's expectations, it's one thing, but I mean, that's the public. But what about the direct kind of victims or families that are, waiting on a case to go through the courts? How do you manage their expectations? It has to be hard.
Yeah, thanks for that. But so we have policies in place so to ensure that at the beginning, at different stages within an investigation, or victims or witnesses are updated, given the information. We also provide them with information, but clearly we cannot provide them with all the information. And sometimes people want more and more. And the longer it takes, then the more gap it creates. So we tend to encourage our officers at every stage of the investigation, any update, be it positive or negative, just be upfront, be truthful, as much as they can to avoid compromising the investigation going forward. So we provide them with as much information.
Okay, we're going to go to our next commercial break right now. When we come back, we're going to go into warrants. We've got a lot to talk about when it comes to warrants here in Cayman. Yes, Mikhail's smiling like, you're not on the warrant list. I already checked, Mikhail. Don't worry. All right, let's go to the next commercial break. Neither am I. Yay.
Summer's heating up and the water's calling. From cruising the coast in your boat to riding Yamaha Wave Runners, Automotive Art Cayman will get you ready. We offer expert servicing by Yamaha certified staff as well as engine repairs, performance upgrades, engine and electrical installation, and more. Need it tuned, cleaned, repaired, or race ready? We'll keep you running smooth, whether you're riding waves or racing them. Trust Automotive Art for expert service and upgrades. Find us on Shedden Road and follow us at Auto Art KY on Instagram and Automotive Art Cayman on Facebook.
Parents, if you're navigating the world of boarding schools, it can feel overwhelming. Dorm and Day are here to help. You don't have to do it alone. Whether your child is reaching for new academic challenges, looking to shine as a competitive athlete, or simply searching for the school that brings out their best, Dorm and Day are your trusted educational experts located right here in Georgetown. For 10 years, Dorm and Day have helped families just like yours to find the best fit schools with one-on-one support every step of the way. So why stress when you can have an experienced partner by your side? Visit dormandday.ky or call 936-3676 today. Dorm and Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm Kathy Miller, and in studio I have the RCIPS with me. We have Mikhail Campbell, Media and Communications Officer, and Inspector Kevin Ricketts, the head of the Process Unit. And Inspector Ricketts was telling us a little bit about his role, what he does in the Process Unit, and I don't think I actually asked, the exact process of the Process Unit. So in the sense of, let's say I call somebody broke into my car. It's probably going to happen again in December every day. Sorry, it's what happens. I'm going to file a complaint with you. What are the steps that the police take after that?
Thank you for that, Kathy. So complaints, as you indicated, that is just an example. So a witness could call the officer. Officer could be on the road and observe something. So a report is usually generated from a number of ways, including that which you just mentioned. Officers would attend, or you attend the police station and give that report. But generally speaking, the first responders, uniform officers will turn up. They'll attend the scene. Safety is primarily important as part of the building blocks to ensure that we protect lives. So we ensure that once we get there, the scene is safe and that it does not put anyone else at risk. We gather all the information or gather as much information we can get either from the witness or the scene in particular, whether they're witnesses, maybe not taking statements from them there, but gathering their information so at a later date we may approach them for obvious reason, confidentiality reason as well. This information is updated into our record management system, which is reviewed by the officers who attend the scene, their supervisors. Supervisors having reviewed them, and I'm giving you a general feel of what happened. The supervisor will review the file and decide if the officers who attend or another officer is assigned that matter. Once that officer is assigned that matter, then the witnesses or the victim ought to be updated as to who the assigned officer is going forward. If I may step back a bit, usually when a report is done, the officer provides a receipt or information regarding the incident report number, record management system number. So if for whatever reason you are unable to contact that investigating officer, then you can stop at a police station, as long as you have an identification, obviously, and inquire into your matter to see what the progress is. Okay, so let me go back. So
why do we have to pay?
Pay for
You might not be able to answer this. I swear, if we make a statement or something like that and we want to get a copy of this, we have to pay for it. And I'm like, why do I have to pay for it? If I'm helping you with a case, blah, 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 and you ask me for all this and I have to pay to get a record of what I've said. This happens.
Yeah, so I think that's a separate matter, though.
It is a separate matter.
If it is at the end of it, then you're requesting a police report. Yes, I wish I could answer that question.
Kale.
Yeah, not a pass.
Yeah, so once the supervisor reviews that file and assigns it to an officer, then further investigation is taking place. At the end of the investigation, or during that process, a file is usually requested from the process unit. We generate a case file jacket, if you may, with some basic information. That jacket is distributed to the respective units. And then when they complete their investigation, they will compile all that they have, put it in the case jacket, and because we're the hub and everything has to come through us, then they take it to us, that case file, for that final review, which I spoke about earlier, quality assurance, just to ensure that all that needs to be done, all lines of inquiries are pursued. After we've reviewed that, then we send it to the Office of the DPP. As you know, within this jurisdiction, it is the prerogative of the Office of the DPP to rule on matters where persons are arrested or bailed. And so the DPP rules on that. Ruling can come in several forms. It could be that there are no charges. It could be that the person is to be warned. It could be that the person is still recommended to receive an adult or a juvenile caution, or it could be that the person is to be charged for stealing from your vehicle. So when that is done, that information is shared with my process department. We upload it again to the same record management system that has the information in regard to that particular case. The person, if they return on bail, is charged for it. We communicate that to the Cayman Islands Detention Center. So whenever they return on bail, if somebody is arrested, obviously, then they are charged for that offense. And our department types the charges, send it to the court for it to be registered. Then the court shares the registration so that we can also upload it again to the record management system and inform officers. In all of that time, the officer has to inform or provide an update with the victim, but that is separate from what we do. So within that, so that is basically a skeleton of what we do, except that there are sometimes persons do not turn up for their bail, and when the charges are registered, then a summons is sent back to our department, for which we now have to process, either have staff within look for that person and serve summons for them to go to court, or we share it with officers out there for them to locate and take persons to court. Adversely, or conversely, if somebody served a summons and he or she does not turn up at the court date that is prescribed, then it goes into a warrant being issued by the court. And of course, we'll get into that at a later date.
Let's get into warrants right now. What do you mean later? We're here to talk about some warrants as well. Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
How many warrants do we have right now issued in Cayman?
So my last check, we have approximately 1,400 or so outstanding court warrants. Because listeners and yourself, there's a distinction. There are several types of warrants.
Oh, lay it out, because I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there are arrest warrants that are usually issued by a judge, magistrate, justice of the peace, or other authorized body. And there are search warrants. Those are also issued. They can be issued by a magistrate, a judge, or justice of the peace. And so there are different types of warrants to recover debt, default, payment. And it's not just specific to criminal or traffic matters. It could be for child support or other things. If people were to be paying and they're not paying, or they were given time by the court to pay and they have paid a little bit and have not paid the remainder at the appropriate time, then the judge or magistrate may issue a warrant for their arrest. So there are different types of warrant. But to your initial question, there are over 1,400 court warrants that we have. We have about 900 that are supposedly off island and about 500 that are on island. Majority of those, though, I must say, I think probably 80% are traffic-related matters.
Okay, about 80% are traffic-related?
80% of both the off-island and active on-island are traffic-related.
Is it worth pursuing the ones that are off-island?
Well, we know that off-island sometimes means that somebody might have taken a break from the Cayman Islands and have gone elsewhere but may return. So we try to work with our partners from CBC and so on to alert us if anyone comes in. And that's an ongoing process, an ongoing discussion that we have with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like if I ran a stoplight 7 years ago and I leave Cayman and you have a warrant out for me for not showing up to court for a stoplight and I return, is there no grace period in that sense?
So
there is.
No, there's not a grace period.
Okay.
So once
you see how excited I got?
No.
The grace period was when you were away.
Yeah. So once you're issued with it and a warrant is issued, then only the court can recall that warrant.
Okay.
We are authorized to pursue. However, as you indicated, a traffic light, even though it's in a context that can be very dangerous and can result in several other things, but we act very proportionate. And so, for example, if we were to be working with our CBC partners, usually we'll go for more serious offenses for which warrants are outstanding. Or even if they are traffic-related matters, it must be that you have 10,000 tickets that are outstanding, and so we know that you're a habitual traffic offender, and so on. Yeah, so we do have several, and those are the warrants that we have.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, so for the people here, just anyone really, but I mean, I'd be curious to know if I had a warrant, which I don't. I don't have a warrant issued on me. But how do you find out?
That's a great question. So what we encourage people to do is attend your local police station. Bordentown Police Station is the primary station in terms of the Eastern District, covers North Side, East End, and so on. Georgetown Police Station, West Bay Police Station. Attend them, speak to your officer. They'll check for you and advise on how you can address those outstanding warrants.
Can I check if, so there's no kind of public record like that we can go online or something to check if warrants are issued?
Not at this moment.
So if I was curious, let's say I'm going to date somebody.
Yes.
Which I don't anymore, but let's say I'm going to date somebody. And, women with their FBI skills, right? So if I want to find out a little bit about them and I'm not sure, do I have the opportunity to go to the police and be like, do they have a warrant? Do they have a criminal record? I know that sounds crazy, but it's like, this is what we have to do, Mikhail.
No,
I'm very serious.
Yes.
Like, you have no idea.
Right. So the RCIPS is guided by the Data Protection Act. And so if somebody were to turn up, clearly we would require them to provide an identification. And whatever they're asking about has to be pertaining to their matter. So we will not disclose other people's information.
Okay.
As far as the law in the Cayman Islands exists, we are unable to do that.
Even though I thought that would be public information at some point. I mean, you said that it's being worked on, right?
Yes.
So I guess that might change That might change. I mean, it'd be good to know.
Yes.
So let me just see who does have a warrant out there, because you never know who you're surrounded by, right? Or you might live by. So, okay, I know Mikhail's laughing at me still about that, but it's what we do as women. Okay, so common reasons people end up with warrants.
Okay, so
I'm going to tell you mine.
Go ahead.
The one court summons I got was because I swear the police officer said I had a year to pay my ticket. And I was like, oh, I have a year. And it was not a year. It was till the end of the month or something. Yes. But I just didn't look at it again. I just went based on what I thought our conversation was. So mistake on my end, for sure.
So I'll advise people going forward, please read your ticket. Do not just take the word of the officer.
Yeah, don't.
Because he's issued you or she has issued you a ticket, so read it. So as you said, some of the primary reason people are traffic tickets. They have been issued a ticket to either pay the fine up to 28 days, I believe, and if not, attend court at the prescribed date that is on the ticket. If it is that the traffic ticket in itself is a summons, and once it is seen to be duly served on the person, like any other summons, and the court sees it and reviews it, then a warrant will be issued for the person's arrest. Other ways, people are to be attending court and has failed to attend court in a particular matter that the judge or the magistrate will issue a warrant. Default payment, as I indicated earlier, you are to pay some monies and you have failed either not pay at all, or you've paid a small amount and have failed to pay the balance up to a particular time has been given to the court. If witnesses also, warrants can be issued for, because if you are given a summons to attend court, yes, if you're given a summons to attend court, and it is duly served, and when I say duly served, it means if it is served within 7 days or 7 days or more before the court date, then after inspection, I'm sure the court will determine that it has been properly served, endorsed by the officer who served it on the person, then a warrant can be issued. So a warrant can be issued not only for offenders, but also for witness for failing to obey the rules.
Okay, interesting. Now there's a whole bunch of questions I got asked, but I don't have the time. We hit 9 a.m. I'm a little late for the headline news, so I gotta say thank you right now for joining me on The Buzz. I appreciate having you, letting us know a lot more about the investigation process and also how the warrants work in Cayman, and Mikhail for updating us on the recent crime and collisions and incidents that we've had in Cayman over the past week or so. Good to have you guys on. I know you'll be on with me in a month or so.
Yeah.
And I got to go to the 9 a.m. headline news, and then I think I have open line after that.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
There's a planned outage today for Little Cayman. Island Energy says their crews will be upgrading 3 poles through 12 p.m. today. So plan ahead. For more information, head to Island Energy on Facebook. In international news, U.S. President Donald Trump says Israel and Hamas have agreed to the first phase of his Gaza ceasefire deal. The agreement would see the release of Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners, the withdrawal of Israeli troops from parts of Gaza, and the entry of aid. Israel's government will meet today, and if it formally approves the deal, a ceasefire will go into effect. The U.S. says all the remaining Israeli hostages would be released by Monday. Hamas has confirmed the deal, but a Palestinian source tells the BBC has not yet received the final list of prisoners that Israel plans to release in the exchange. Palestinians in Gaza and hostage families in Israel have been celebrating the breakthrough, which came after intense negotiations in Egypt. And the head of J.P. Morgan Chase has said, quote, there is a higher risk of a serious fall in U.S. stocks than is currently being reflected in the market. Jamie Dimon, who leads America's largest bank, said he was, quote, far more worried than others about serious market correction, which he said could come in the next 6 months to 2 years. In a rare and wide-ranging interview, the bank boss also said that the U.S. has become a, quote, less reliable partner on the world stage. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
HSA's orthopedic clinic has relocated to the second floor of the Smith Road Medical Center. Our dedicated team of highly skilled orthopedic surgeons treat conditions ranging from spine to ankle injuries in adult and pediatric patients. We offer minimally invasive procedures from ligament reconstruction to hip and knee replacement. If you have experienced an injury due to sports or day-to-day activities, call 949-8600 and schedule an appointment with HSA's Orthopedic Clinic, now located at the Smith Road Medical Center.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome to The Buzz. I'm Kathy Miller, and I've got a bit of an open line right now. So if there's anything that listeners want to talk about, anything that's on your mind, anything that you want to reflect about, maybe even earlier from my earlier conversations, give me a call. 1-800-534-8255. 949-6990, 949-8037, or you can WhatsApp text or WhatsApp call us at 925-3261. And I did get one WhatsApp message asking if we were taking some calls with the police, and honestly, I forgot to mention to people, hey, give us a call if you got a question for the RCIPS, which we always allow that, so my bad for not mentioning then that you could give a call. And while I'm waiting to see if anybody wants to chat about anything, I do want to remind everybody that the month of October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And as we observe Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I want all of us to consider for a moment all the Caymanians and the residents here who may be impacted or know someone who is suffering with breast cancer, or somebody who is a survivor. I think it's safe to say that we all know someone who has had breast cancer, or at least kind of 1 degree away from that person. It is the most common cancer reported in the Cayman Islands. Oh, we do have a WhatsApp call, so let us take that caller. Good morning. Thank you for calling The Buzz.
Good morning. Thank you for taking the call.
No problem.
I'm sorry that we've missed the RCIPS who were with you. I believe they've just left.
You're right, yes. Sorry, I didn't mention calls to come in. I apologize for that.
Yes, because I wanted to... Why are we getting an echo? I'm not sure why. I wanted to speak about a crime that took place a week ago, the night of a week ago. A new kind of crime. We have a National Trust property in West Bay, the Mount Pleasant Meadow Avenue Junction, called Uncle Sammy's Pond and Nature Garden Sanctuary. And we've had a portion of it fenced. And lo and behold, when we went back to visit that on last Friday morning, we discovered that 40 feet of the chain link fence had been stolen.
The fence?
Posts and railings remain, but the chain link fence with the green vinyl inserts had just disappeared. No, that's very brazen. It's an open space. Obviously, it would have been done the Thursday night because we'd been there on the Thursday afternoon and everything was fine. Friday morning, when one of our members went to do a normal little garbage collection, because you know that everybody just loves to dump stuff from their cars or just go and dump garbage on other people's property. It is. Are you having an echo as well?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
yeah, it's fine. No echo on our end. It might be on your end. If you're on a speakerphone, you might get an echo.
No, it's...
Yeah, but there's no echo on our end or on our end.
Okay. Well, I've actually now put it on speakerphone, and I'm not getting as much of an echo
Oh, interesting.
as
Okay.
I was.
All right.
Just let me try to see. Oh, Lord. Anyway, as long as you're hearing, perhaps that means others are hearing.
Yes. No, you're
I'm
perfect.
yes, I'm just wanting to alert the public. I mean, we have our community group in the Mount Pleasant up the hill area, which includes 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 police officers, or it used to. So they're well aware of it, perhaps. And we also called the police. They came by, took statements from the member of the trust, etc., that was there at the time.
Okay.
So we've got that ball rolling, but it is really discouraging, disheartening, and a terrible sign of where the Caymanian society has reached. Because there was a time, many years ago, I guess, for some people, when you could leave your car open, you could leave your house open, you could drop something, but nobody was going to come and steal it. If someone found it, they would pick it up and bring it to you because they would identify the property. But now people would steal breeze, it seems. They're taking fence. And we at the Trust, we have to fundraise, get donations to assist us with everything that we do. Because what the National Trust does is not for any of us personally. It is for the benefit of present and future generations of the people of the Cayman Islands. And I just wanted people to be alert. You never know what will disappear from your property. But if you see 40 feet of chain link fence with green vinyl inserts suddenly erected, installed somewhere in your vicinity, it would be worth giving the National Trust. I'm going to put their office on the alert. Give them a call to say suddenly out of nowhere, fencing has appeared. You might want to have a look at it, although fencing is fencing. We didn't have it marked with our initials. But I just wanted to let whoever stole this stuff, or whom, maybe 1, 2, 3, whatever people, I'm very, very disappointed in you that this is what you have lowered yourself to, taking fencing from projects like what we're trying to do there for the benefit of the community. Thank you very much, Miss Kathy. The show is always interesting.
Oh, thank
you. Don't get to listen to it every day, but thank you so much and for asking such good questions when you've got the police in there.
Thank you. I really appreciate your feedback. I really appreciate you sharing that information with all of Cayman right now, because somebody will see a chain link fence going up with some green vinyl inserts all of a sudden, and that was taken from the property of the National Trust. And as you said, the National Trust is there to preserve the islands and the heritage for their future generations. So just to steal from the future already, or people that are preserving for the future, is just, it's sad. It's absolutely sad. So I do hope that other people in the community that may hear this and might see what you've been asking them to keep their eyes peeled for, do make that call to the National Trust. I know that in my neighborhood alone, people's patio furniture is being stolen left, right, and center. Not just patio furniture, potted plants. People with big potted plants on the outside, the perimeter of their home. These items are being stolen. And then I'll go on eBay online and I'll see items for sale that are really, really cheap all of a sudden from patio. And I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together. Like, I absolutely recognize this whole set from one of my neighbors down the street, right? And it's a huge thing that I see happening. So a chain link, you would think, who's going to steal a chain link fence? Who's going to steal a big clay pot from outside of my front door? But people are doing this. And we do need the community to be more vigilant and just to help support each other with this, because it is happening in broad daylight. What happened with the chain link fence that's protecting Sammy's Pond, that's what it's called there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uncle Sammy's Pond, we're developing it as Uncle Sammy's Pond. That's the name it's had for eons.
Yeah.
Uncle Sammy's Pond and Nature Garden Sanctuary. Because we have the pond there, migrating birds congregate there, and we see it as a place where the community, we can have events. a place of serenity and peace where you can be there and see and enjoy nature.
Yeah.
And, appreciate the peace and quiet. I mean, I grew up in the Mount Pleasant up the hill area, and I'm getting on in many years. And there was a time, if you have another call, let me know and I'll stop talking.
No, we don't. Go ahead.
There was a time in our neighborhood. I remember my mother would be going to work, but she would have done washing in the morning and hung it out on the line to dry while she was at work. When she would get home, midday, we used to have a siesta time in work time those days.
Mm-hmm.
When she'd get home midday, the clothes were gone from the line. However, when she opened her house door, the clothes were on her bed because you didn't really even lock your house doors with keys. All of the neighbors had their eyes open for everything. But when a gentleman who used to come through the property to go and water his cows, when he was going by, he came the next day and told us, when he was going by, he saw that rain was making up. So he picked up the clothes off the line, opened the house door, and put them on my mother's bed. That's the Mount Pleasant up the hill area that I grew up in. And in fact, that was pretty much what Cayman was like, Grand Cayman was like. We were our neighbors and brothers, keepers and helpers. Everybody watched out for each other.
It's so interesting.
Really disheartening.
I would be
It's a sign
terrified.
of the times that we could do without.
I would be terrified knowing somebody came into my home. And I understand that you're describing that this is how it was. But for me, how I grew up, it was absolutely very different. When I moved here and people didn't lock their door to go into the gas station, for example, I was in complete disbelief. And I still am in complete disbelief because of the environment that I grew up in and had to learn how to be vigilant and protect myself. So it was a total culture shock in that sense coming here, and seeing and experiencing, hearing exactly what you're saying. When people would always leave their doors unlocked, you could just walk into people's homes, be welcome. Everybody's just helping each other and cares for each other. That is a very unique and beautiful part of Cayman that I wish we don't see going away, but I feel like that is going away.
Yes, it has disappeared, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
But anyway,
thank you.
There's someone who sees and knows everything, and that's our Lord God, because we do believe in God.
Yes.
So he sees, and the day will come when then there will be judgment and recompense, whatever. But in the meantime, please stop stealing from anyone. No matter what you may think, it's a little something, a potted plant or something. You don't take other people's property. If you want to assist the National Trust with the work that we try to do, please contact the National Trust. You can volunteer, you can donate time, you can donate money, you can donate materials if you're working on projects. But please don't donate your stealing ability. We don't need thieves.
All right.
Thanks very much. God bless. And okay. Bye-bye,
Thank you.
Mary.
Have a great day. Thank you for your call and for sharing your thoughts with us this morning. All right, we're going to go to our last commercial break for the show. And when we come back, we'll continue our open line.
Parents, if you're navigating the world of boarding schools, it can feel overwhelming. Dorm and Day are here to help. You don't have to do it alone. Whether your child is reaching for new academic challenges, looking to shine as a competitive athlete, or simply searching for the school that brings out their best, Dorm and Day are your trusted educational experts located right here in Georgetown. For 10 years, Dorm and Day have helped families just like yours to find the best fit schools with one-on-one support every step of the way. So why stress when you can have an experienced partner by your side? Visit dormandday.ky or call 936-3676 today. Dorm and Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures.
Tired of burning cash at the gas pump and wasting time in traffic? Say goodbye to gridlock and hello to freedom with a Kimco scooter from Automotive Art. Trusted in over 100 countries, Kimco is now known worldwide for reliable, fuel-efficient scooters built to last. Perfect for Cayman's roads. With 2 models to choose from, the Agility 125cc for just $23.99 and the Agility RS Naked 125cc for $24.99. It's the smart, budget-friendly way to beat traffic and cut costs. Visit Automotive Art today and ride smarter with Kimco, because saving money should never mean slowing down.
Attention Cayman, transform your kitchen for less with Granite Express Cayman. Skip the Christmas rush and take advantage of our year-end promotion. Offer is valid until October 31st. Refresh your space with our cabinet respray services and quartz countertops for as low as $3,950. Selected material. If you only need a countertop, prices start at $2,250. Don't miss this limited time offer. Visit Granite Express Cayman today or call 922-0424 for our free estimate. Granite Express, quality stone, unbeatable prices.
The 6:15 Weather Report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by CG Britcay. Insurance, health, pensions, life, where people come first.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. We've got about 10 minutes left before the show ends this morning, and I want to really thank the guests that did come in. So we had the Cayman Islands National Robotics team, which is led by their manager, Miss Glenda McTaggart. We had Desira Tatum from Grace Christian Academy, and we had Jamie Johnson from Cayman Prep. They were in studio telling us all about the robotics competition. That team is going to Panama at the end of the month, and Miss Glenda said that the Cayman Islands Robotics team, they've gone to places like Singapore, Dubai, Greece, Mexico. I mean, those are amazing destinations. And if I was a youth, I would absolutely be jumping on these kinds of opportunities, because I think it's just absolutely amazing. And they do have a send-off on the 25th of October. Down in Camana Bay, I believe it is. So have a look out for that if you want to help support the robotics team going off to Panama. I believe we do have another WhatsApp call, so let's take that caller. Good morning. Thank you for calling The Buzz. Hello. Good morning, caller. Oh, you're not there? Okay, goodbye. Maybe you'll call back. You still got some time. Also, we had the RCIPS in here, and we did hear the Media and Communications Officer, Mikhail Campbell, give us a bit of an update on where the police are in the investigations from the October 5th attempted ATM heist and the school bus collision that happened on October 7th, and as well as they give a bit of an update with the van fire that also happened on the 7th. So there's been a lot going on, and as we had the caller who gave us a call about 9:10 or so this morning mentioned that the chain link fence by Uncle Sammy's Pond in West Bay by Mount Pleasant was stolen. A fence was stolen from a National Trust property, and she is appealing to people out there who all of a sudden might see a chain link fence being put up with some green vinyl inserts in it to let the National Trust know, because that just might be the fence that was stolen from them. And who steals fences? Legit, who steals fences? How bottom barrel do you have to be to do something like that? It's just that disgusts me. So please, if you see this, help the National Trust out, because they really are here trying to preserve the islands for our future generations. I did mention before that caller that it is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I want to give a couple facts and figures about breast cancer here in the Cayman Islands. That is, I did mention it is the most reported or common cancer here in Cayman. So the first thing to keep in mind is we don't have a mandatory cancer registry in Cayman, so that makes data a bit limited and survival statistics difficult to obtain, because not everybody wants to share their story. Nevertheless, among reported cancer cases, breast cancer is the most common, as mentioned, and in the past reports, it accounted for about 36% of all registered cancers. The majority of reported breast cancers in Cayman are diagnosed in women aged 40 to 49. So ladies, get your tatas checked out. Make sure you do it. You know you're at an age where you are most susceptible to getting breast cancer. Doesn't mean you can't get it at other eras or stages of your life, but 40 to 49 is the most common cases of reported breast cancers in Cayman. There was a Caribbean-wide study by the Caribbean Women's Cancer Study. Well, that's what it's called, sorry. It included Cayman, and it looked at shifting risk factors. So, for example, the age at which a woman began menstruating, the number of pregnancies she may have had, the age at diagnosis. So when we're looking at those shifting risk factors, it's showing that younger women are being diagnosed at younger ages, possibly due to the lifestyle, reproductive patterns, and hormonal exposures. So again, while 40 to 49 is the most common of cases reported in women, it's also common in women much younger than that. Early detection matters. Lump detection, self-exams, mammograms for eligible ages. And I am here to tell you, after getting my first mammogram, almost 2 years ago, it was not that painful of a process. I was terrified. It really wasn't painful. It was pretty quick, and I was pretty impressed in the sense, and just satisfied that I took care of that for myself. So you can get free mammograms this month as well, because that is one of the incentives that some support groups are putting out there to help with the awareness and early detection. As an example of local solidarity, the Breast Cancer Foundation pledged US $100,000 to the Cayman Islands Cancer Society in 2025 to strengthen services and support. The Breast Cancer Foundation also has an early detection program, and they'll provide free mammogram and free ultrasound vouchers to anyone whose health insurance is exhausted, which is for most of us. You can call them at 923-1135 or email info@bcfccayman.com. I really want to big up the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens with their breast cancer awareness program. This has run for decades in Cayman. It has provided over 11,000 mammogram vouchers since beginning their breast cancer awareness campaign. And they maintain free mammogram vouchers during the month of October as part of their outreach. So again, to all the women out there that need to get a mammogram or have thought about it or considering it, who may have their health insurance exhausted, Lions Club of Tropical Gardens, the Breast Cancer Foundation, they will provide free mammogram vouchers for you during the month of October. It is all part of their early detection, their awareness, their outreach. That's an amazing, amazing incentive, and I'm very thankful that they're providing that kind of a service to people. The Lions Club of Tropical Gardens also have some amazing fundraising and awareness initiatives. Now, we did have Miss Paulette here. Miss Paulette, I am shouting you out. I know you have hit your retirement era now, but between you and Miss Norma, who would always sell us things here at work when it comes to the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens and just the fundraising there, I'm really thankful for it, because I always like to support the initiatives, and you guys do absolutely sell some things. That the pink umbrella, please bring it back. I've had to hunt down the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens organizers last year for them to fish me my pink umbrella, which they had somewhere stored away. That was my very favorite item from them, and it's one of the items that they sell. So we know it rains a lot in Cayman. We're in hurricane season. That's just one of the very, very many items that you can buy from the Lions Club. Well, I don't know if that's available right now, but it was for me. So that's what was one of the items that you could get from the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens. They have pins, they have shirts, they have all sorts of items that you can get, that you can purchase to help with their fundraising and awareness initiatives as it runs for the entire month of October when it comes to breast cancer awareness. They also have a calendar for October, which is full of health screenings, awareness meetings, fundraising activities like the Brenda Tibbetts Lund 5K Memorial Walk Run, which is this weekend, the Dress Down Pink Day, which I believe is the third Friday of October, and Blossom Day Spa has discounted services and more. On a particular day, you've got to go to the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens.com website to find out, to look at their calendar and see all the when the different health screenings are, the awareness meetings. And if you need a bit of a spa day, you can get that spa day, but know that partial funds will also be provided back to the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens. And again, that was at Blossom Day Spa, which big up Blaze, because that's where I go for some of my services. So I love to see that they're part of this. As mentioned, we all know somebody who either has had breast cancer or 1 degree of separation away from someone who might have had it. Breast cancer is not just something that women get. Men get it too. And I don't know why I didn't realize that until a few years ago, but men do get breast cancer as well. So men have to consider screenings as well on that. All right. We're coming to the end of the show right here. I want to say thank you to everybody who hung out with me this morning, who listened, those who sent in their messages, the WhatsApp caller as well. Thank you for joining me on the buzz. Remember, save the tatas. Do your breast cancer awareness checks. Ladies, the early detection, do your checks. Whether it's your self-exams, whether you have to go for a mammogram and ultrasound, just get it done. Prevention is better than cure. And these days, when you catch something like this in earlier stages, you have a very, very good chance of survival, and we all want you here. Okay? Have a beautiful Thursday, a beautiful weekend ahead of you, and I'll be back with you on Tuesday.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. And Automotive Art Cayman, your car, our passion. And by Dorman Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures. Visit dormanday.ky.
Shaken yet standing firm. This is Radio Cayman.